Hi, in this Unity tutorial, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things I learned how to do from the script and the inspector window to a prefab object. And I'm going to do these things to my prefab object even though I'm not running the game. As you can see here, I haven't pressed play, and I've made a script for this red car with four wheels and a top that's the windows. And in the parts section of my script parameters, I defined what the windows were and the different objects by just dragging and dropping the child objects into the appropriate slot. And then in the visibility window, I will say it's just something I have to say if that car part is going to be visible or not. So say, for example, windows, which is this part right here. If I go to my car script and visibility windows, I say hidden, then all of a sudden the script will hide that part of the prefab, that child object. It's actually taking action even though I'm not playing the game. So how do I do something like this? How do I hide and show parts even though I'm not running the game? How did I write a script to do that? Is I used a function called onValidate, an event called onValidate. And onValidate is a function that is called when the script is loaded or a value is changed in the inspector. And it's called in the editor only. Okay, so um, here at the top of the script, I didn't add any special using statements. And in my helpers, I just made an enum for visibility so you can see the word visible or hidden when you're looking in the inspector window. And then system serializable so that it saves with the prefab. I have the game object windows, front left, front right, back left, back right. Those are the objects in my car. And the reason I had a structure to hold those is because when I was playing around with the onValidate function, if I try to have change the Windows child object by using, you know, the get this transform dot find Windows. If I try to use this, then what would happen is it would say that Windows is null because it wouldn't be able to find the transform. The game wasn't running yet. So I just got around that by just having the parts of the car defined as inspector properties so that in the onValidate I could just affect those inspector properties by setting them active, false, or true. All right, so let me just scroll through the script slow so you can see it. This is in my helper section, my region for the helpers, and I have the new visibility, the structure of parts, which has a game object variable for each part of the car, and then I have structure part visibility, which has a new visibility for each part of the car. Then I have my public variable, which will show in the inspector for parts, and this here is a tooltip. What this does is it makes it that so when I'm in the inspector and it just says parts, if I wanted to give some more information about it, I could hold my mouse over it and it would show some descriptive text. And the descriptive text it shows is whatever I put here in the tooltip text. So I did that for parts and I did that for visibility. So parts shows this and visibility shows this. Okay. And then I don't even have a start function or an update function. All I have here is the onValidate function. It's an event from model behavior. And all I do here is anytime there's a change in the inspector window, this function gets called. It just goes through each of the visibility values from over here, and it just makes sure that that part of the car matches the visibility value at the current time. So it does that for the wheels and for the window. And that's how that works. Now, when I do make these changes, they could be saved with the prefab. I could press apply and save them with the prefab, or I could just make them for this instance of the prefab. When I press play, those changes will still stay in effect. They don't go away. Anyway, it's just a way to have some control in the inspector and the editor from the when I write a C# script. It's kind of like a weird tutorial, but I think it could be useful.